welcome to Titan Solar Power, the Solar Power Pro division. This video is designed to answer some of your questions about the company and make sure that you guys have all the information about who we are, what we do, and what you're going to do as a solar sales consultant. If for some reason some of your questions aren't answered during this video, you'll be able to talk directly to your manager and get those questions answered one-on-one, whether it be a personal circumstance or situation, or you just needed more elaboration on something. Some of the things we're going to be going over in this video will be who the Solar Power Pro division is, what's the company's future, the company's structure, types of customers, how solar works, how do we talk to our customers, the pay and bonuses, the perks and benefits, advancement and promotions, schedules, transportation, and of course, territories. So who is the Solar Power Pro division? Well, firstly, our mission is to make solar smarter, one salesperson at a time and one homeowner at a time. SPP is a national sales organization that focuses on the sales of residential rooftop solar and storage for the solar industry. Over the last decade, our beloved industry has become the fastest growing industry and recognized as the future of energy. However, it's also been under a lot of scrutiny for malpractice, fraud, and misconduct. The reason is because it's really easy to start a solar sales company. There's no standard of training, no regulatory agencies over the sales side of it. So it's been great for the growth of installers to be able to expand into new territories, but it's been detrimental in the view from the customers and from the governments. So we want to make sure that our customers are getting accurate information and start teaching the industry the right way to do this stuff. We don't use any of those fake ads that say get paid to go solar, because it's not real. The government will pay for your solar. It's not real. These are problems that are inside of our industry, and we want to make sure that we do things the right way. And it has helped us expand out into amazing territories in a very short time. So first thing that happens is everybody here will become Solar Power Pro certified. You're going to be internally licensed and certified. Now, in order to be able to verify that from your customer standpoint or from another organization standpoint, you're going to get access to a digital business card that will have the SPP seal of approval on there. You'll be able to access that anytime by going to titanspp.com/pro/your first name - your last name. You can make a QR code out of that, and everybody will end up getting a badge that you'll be able to keep on you so people can scan that and be able to access. So you won't have any paper business cards. We have gone all green, so the QR code will act as a business card for you guys to be able to give out your information when you need to. The support. Your management team is always going to be available for you for additional training and assistance. You can schedule that with them. They'll reach out to you to make sure that you're doing everything that you need to do and that you are getting your questions answered. You can reach out to tech, to legal, to human resources anytime you need to, or just your general managers or team leads. Now, growth is important to us. Here's what you need to understand about growth, though. It can't happen too quickly. All of our managers have been selected and they've been trained into the positions that they're in. We have a firm belief that when it comes down to management, it needs to be based off of merit, not off of sales ability. Just because you're an amazing salesperson doesn't mean that you should be in a leadership position. And just because you're an okay salesperson doesn't mean you're not a great leader or a great manager. You might be better at one or the other. So we take these factors into consideration when we promote our management. And they've also been through every process. So you know we're never going to ask you to do something that we wouldn't do or we have not done ourselves. And the technology is something that's going to make it a lot easier for you guys to grow and expand in your careers with solar. You're going to have unlocked territories and you'll be able to do virtual Zooms, or if you get into management, you can grow your teams in different parts of the country. If you want to sell in a different territory, you'll have access to be able to do that. We have a CRM called Sun-Based Data where you guys will be able to store and manage all of your customers. There's drip campaigns, there's email campaigns. There's a lot of different tools and features inside of there, all the way down to creating task lists for yourself to be able to organize your day and organize your customers. We use Solo for the creation of all of our customer proposals at the moment. Now, they're only for a mock proposal. So submitting for a proposal to Solo is not going to give you something that you can show a customer. All proposals are reviewed and completely done internally with the Solar Power Pro division. We have an entire proposals team and projects teams that puts eyes on every single project before it ever goes in front of a customer's eyes to ensure it's built correctly and that there's no additional changes that are needed. So remember, Good notes in the CRM help your projects managers create you good systems. Now, here's some contact information for you guys to be able to put down. Screenshot the slide, or you'll be able to access this from the document libraries at any time. So general contact information for the organization. The local number is from our headquarters in Tucson, 520-221-9005 or 866-31-SOLAR. Customers can email solar@titanspp.com for any reason, or go to the website titanspp.com and submit on one of the forms there. To reach legal, it's legal@titanspp.com. For internal support for you guys can reach out to tech@titanspp.com or support@titanspp.com. And of course, human resources, HR@titanspp.com. Your divisional directors are going to be the top management and the ones who are going to give you the most support and training. They have worked their way up. So we'll talk more about the promotion structures and how our management structures go here in just a moment. But I want to make sure you guys have the contact information for your management. He goes by Vinny, and he's your divisional director and in charge of field ops. Most of you have already spoken with Joe. Joe is in charge of recruiting, and he's in charge of managing the teams on the back end. So we do both residential and commercial, but we're hiring for the residential. Let me explain the difference between the two. The one that's going to have the highest growth potential and the most commissions are going to be residential. Why? Well, the industry, like I said before, has gotten beaten up a little bit. And residential solar customers have their doors knocked on constantly. Phones have been blown up and bombarded with lies on social media. So we have to take a different approach and make sure that we start reestablishing trust, not just in who we are, but who the industry is as a whole. Because solar is an amazing thing once it's explained right. So your goal when you're out there is to teach people how solar works, even though your job is to sell it. You will sell as a result of teaching people how solar works. Once you get in the home and you start having these conversations with customers, you'll realize how little the rest of the industry is teaching these salespeople who are going out there and talking about a financial solution for a customer. They don't know half of what you guys know. So you guys will have an edge when you go in there, and you'll find out that people do want somebody who's qualified and understands what they're going through. So we do a lot of different types of marketing as well. We do mailers and all that other stuff. The main forms are going to be canvassing, cold calling. We do some of that. We don't do as much. Some reps enjoy doing that. Some don't. Social media, retargeting, referrals, and of course, company provided leads. When it comes to company provided leads, that's our brand, our name, our reputation. So we have to know we can trust you. You will not be receiving leads on day one. You have to make sure that you're doing the right things, and we have to make sure that you know how to do the right things. So there will be a goal behind it. Once you sell 5 systems a month, you will be getting put on the company funnel so that you're in transition to be able to receive leads for your territory. Now, commercial is still available here with Titan Solar Power. Titan will still be installing it, but the process is much different and it's handled by a different department. Residential sales reps are not allowed to be a part of that process. It's more of an introduction. You will still make your commissions, but you cannot be a part of the actual sales process when it comes to commercial. Now, our territories have grown dramatically over the course of the last year. We've blown up into 24 territories in 17 states. The only one that's not highlighted here that is available is going to be Louisiana. So it's been a lot of fun, and we've seen a lot of growth. On this map, anywhere within 2 hours of one of our warehouses is where your territory is to be able to sell. 3 to 4 hours outside of it, you can still sell there, but there will be a trip charge. That can range from $250 to $800 depending on the distance. If you have any specific questions about a territory you'll be working with, you can reach directly out to your managers and ask them about it. Now, let's talk a little bit more about these commissions. So, TP stands for total payout. MP1 is max payout 1. MP2 is max payout 2. Overrides, and then we have our bonuses and incentives. Now, the MP1 is going to be the first commission payout that you get. It's usually within 10 business days of deal submission. This is meaning that the deal has been completed, signed, executed, and approved by finance, or we have the deposit in hand. The total payout is your total commission payout on that system. Your draw, or MP1, is 30% of the total payout with a max of $1,000 and a minimum of $400. So, If you get a $3,000 commission, you're looking at $1,000 up front the following Friday, and the other $2,000 is paid when the system is installed. That is your MP2. Again, it's within 10 business days, and it must be funded before commissions can be paid. It must be in a completed status. Just because there's panels on the roof doesn't mean that it's completed yet. There may be additional work that needs to be done prior to having it as a completed system. It doesn't mean it's needed to be turned on. It's just a completed install. Average install times are between 3 to 5 weeks nationwide right now. Some territories may be longer depending on permitting. We do have our hands handcuffed when it comes to permitting and utility company approvals. We do work on making these things go a little bit faster, but we're at their discretion and their timelines. We do not install before we have permits in hand. If you do hear about that happening, that could actually cause a big problem for customers down the road. If a company installs an electrical service onto a customer's home prior to permits, it can cause problems for customers. And then, of course, we have overrides. Overrides are paid within 10 business days of the installation. Must be funded before commissions can be paid out. And then promotions affect the overrides moving forward. They're not retroactive. So all of our overrides for management are paid on install. Make sure that everybody's integrity is held through the entire time. When we instituted this, we've seen an increase in our retention with customers, a decrease in cancellation because everybody's more invested in the entire install process. Now, bonuses and incentives are something that's going to be team-based, sometimes company-based. So we have a lot of great incentives that we throw out there for you guys, just to show that we appreciate what you guys do on a daily basis and helping us make solar smarter. So because they are paid out on different schedules depending on the team or the company, you must be an active contractor or an employee during the time of the payout in order to be able to qualify for that incentive. One of the reasons why is because we do company vacations and we all expense paid company vacations. And we want to make sure that active contractors are the one going on those because they have more reason to keep the brand and reputation in good standings. Let's talk about this commissions. So our goal is to help create a little bit of wealth, not just some commissions. So the way that we do that is through some passive income and through some active income. Here's how it works. Your personal production, you're on commission, is going to be 40 cents per watt. During your first 60 days, you're in training. You're still on full commission, which means that you're going to be making 30 cents per watt during your training period. Once you pass that 60 days, you will be outside of your training period, which means you're automatically moved up to 40 cents per watt. There's another bonus that we have in there for you guys, and I'll explain that here momentarily. Now, team leads are a little bit different. Team leads are at 45 cents per watt with a 5 cent per watt override off of every sale that's on their team. So at 24 kilowatts in a week, that's $1,200 overrides off of the sales on their teams. The way that this works is simple. The team leads are more of a company support. It's kind of like an assistant manager, right? They're going to help you with day-to-day operations, basic job functions, make sure that you understand what you're doing. They're there as your first level of support. Anything sales related goes to your area manager. Anything about how does the app work? How do I do this? How do I set my appointment? How do I make sure my customer got the email? What should I say to this customer on an appointment? That would go to a team lead. When it's sales related, that goes to your area manager. They are your sales manager in the field. Now, we want them more focused on developing sales consultants and not being inside of the field or selling their own systems. They will sell from time to time. Their main function is off of referrals and off of company leads, so they get overflow from it. And they make $500 per kilowatt or 50 cents per watt off of everything that they sell personally. But they also make 10 cents per watt override off of every single person on their team. In order to be able to show that you're going to be a good leader, it's about being able to bring people up with you. So you don't ever have to recruit somebody to be here. This isn't an MLM. You don't pay us to be here. But in order to be able to move up, you have to be able to train your replacement. So to become a team lead, you are moving up to have 3 people underneath you that you can train how to set appointments and be able to sell at least one system, right? As an area manager, you have to be able to train 2 team leads to replace you when you move up, which means that you now have 6 people underneath you as sales consultants and 2 team leads underneath you to help you as general support. So your team starting out as an area manager is going to be 8. Just because you can do that doesn't mean you're going to be an area manager, though. Remember, our promotions are based off of merit, not just how well you can sell. Typically, if you can train people into management, you're somebody that we want to work with in management. And then, of course, the divisional directors. The divisional director position is, we talk about this more in detail when somebody's going to be moved into that position. It's a junior partner for the company, and there's divisional proceeds and profit share. Again, you have to be able to train managers. You can't just train salespeople, you have to train managers. Not just sell, you have to be able to train managers. So the same structure, but you have to be able to replace yourself. Okay? Now, here is a little bit of understanding about how the divisional director works. Best way to compare it is going to be to a franchise owner. We have to be able to trust this person to be able to run their entire division without constant supervision and support. They are going to be our right hand in the field for their division to make sure things run smoothly and the company brand and reputation is protected and things are being done the right way. Like I said before, we do offer benefits after 120 days. Being a full-time salesperson or when you get into junior management, you will be offered benefits. You don't have to. You're an independent contractor if you have your own or if you're on a family plan or something like that. You can do whatever you feel is going to be best for you. But we do offer those. And because our headquarters in Arizona, you're going to be based off of those rates. So if you're in a territory that gets better insurance somewhere else, you can do your own thing. So let's get a little bit more about the consultant training, get you guys understanding this. So a solar consultant in training is at 30 cents per watt, right? Or $300 per kilowatt. Once you get to 60 days or 10 sales, whichever one comes first, you're automatically at $400 per kilowatt. Now, during those 60 days, by selling 10 systems in 60 days, you are actually going to be given a bonus based off of all 10 systems, which is 10 cents per watt. That's why we call it a hold. So when those systems get installed, you'll be retroactively paid $400 per kilowatt off of everything that you sold up until that point. If you don't sell 10 within 60 days, that's fine. You'll still be automatically put to $400 per kilowatt after those 60 days of training. Now, sales meetings are going to be Monday through Saturday at 10 a.m. Pacific. Those times may change depending on your team or your manager or what's going on. They will notify you ahead of time. You guys will have access to be able to add that to your calendar, so you'll always be reminded. Company emails, those will be provided once you pass your certification courses. So I'm going to put some screenshots up about the benefits here really quickly for you so that you get a good understanding about the benefits packages and what's available to you. There are going to be more than just these plans that are available. We have multiple plans for medical, dental, and vision, starting from employee only all the way up to family is going to be available. We have plans with some deductibles and plans with no deductibles, all PPOs. All right, now, accepted payment methods, we have multiple. We do have financing. Our financing is through GoodLeap. We have 10 to 25 years, 1.49% to 7.99% APR on our traditional loans, and 1.48 to 5.98% APR available on our FlexPay loans. As far as PPAs and leasings go, they are offered. They traditionally require a 1.9% to a 3.9% escalator. They are not a standard. These are all management discretion. We typically try not to lease system unless it's absolutely required, or do a PPA unless it's absolutely required for that homeowner, because it can be more detrimental to homeowners than it is helpful. So just to recap, they are offered, they are not used. And then, of course, we have cash, check, or credit cards, debit cards, okay? Now, it's always better to do a check because of 3% processing charge on credit or debit cards. When we do checks, the way that we do those is very, very simple. They write them out to Titan Solar Power, and they can send them directly to the office. Or you can get it from the customer and you can overnight to us. especially if it's on a Saturday. You want to have it in by Monday by noon in order to make sure that you can get that counted towards that week's commission. We require $2,000 down in most of our territories. Some territories only require about $1,000. $1,000 is held for turn on. We do 50% of the remainder at permitting and 50% at install. All right, guys, I'm going to let you go after this one. This is my favorite training to do. It's red zone, green zone. Whenever you're coming into any type of commission-based position or you're trying to become an entrepreneur, there's a couple things you have to understand, which is where are you working and where are you putting in your most efforts, okay? So red zone is a simple zone to be in. It's something that we're all required to do. Something like right now, we're training. We're not making any money while we're doing this, right? You're watching a couple videos and you're trying to get a good understanding about how the company works and how your job function is. Whenever we're driving out to a customer's house or to a territory, when you're following up with existing sales, when you're recruiting, when you're sitting in the field, these are all red zone activities. You might be so-called clocked in, or you might be wearing your company badge or your company uniform. That doesn't mean that you're out there making money. So just because you're working in a red zone, there is no opportunity to make any type of money. Now, yellow zone is going to be a different type of work. It's work that has potential to generate some income, but you're still doing mostly just sitting, right? So you can turn some red zone activities into yellow zone activities, which means you have the opportunity to make some money. So when you follow up on an existing sale, you could ask for referrals. When you're visiting sales on the day of installation, that's huge. You can ask for referrals. When you're doing sales funnels, those can help a little bit. You might get some good interaction with people pretty quickly. But sales funnels bounce between red zone and yellow zone because you could sit there for quite some time before you get your first customer contact. Now, green zone activities are where you're going to want to live. This is where you want to spend most of your time. Income generating activities, which is setting appointments or delivering proposals. The more proposals you deliver, the more chances you have of making money. The more appointments you set, the more chances you have to sit with somebody to make some money. We are commission based. So don't fool yourself into thinking that you're working by being in the red zone. I've done that myself in my career. Every salesperson gets to that point, and we find reasons to not do what we're doing or to justify why we were sitting in the field for 4 or 5 hours on our phone and not talking to a customer or swiping on Instagram or watching a Netflix series. Whatever the case may be, you may try to find shortcuts. It's red zone activities. It's not anything that's going to help you make money now. Live in the green zone and watch the change happen. Watch better results happen for you.